Hello, good evening, each and everybody. Yeah, good evening, all esteemed poets and good friends around the world. I'm Dr. Shalini Yadav, and I have been invited at this platform of the Fertile Brain by Prasanna Kumar, a dear brother and friend of mine. And today we are going to talk about that why poetry is important for us and how I started writing poetry and on what themes I like to write poetry. So very first thing I would like to quote William Wordsworth here. The words of William Wordsworth, in the words of William Wordsworth, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. That's what William Wordsworth has said. And I also feel that it is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings of one person. The person wants to express by those words and lexes in front of others. Poetry is imperative because it allows folks to express convoluted emotions and ideas in a creative, concise, and meaningful way. Poetry touches the hearts of people by arousing powerful emotions, including the emotions of joy, sadness, nostalgia, love, and empathy. It allows readers or listeners to connect with the experiences and perspectives of others and to find new ways to understand and appreciate their own lives. Poetry also stimulates and encounters people to think more deeply about important social and cultural issues or to consider alternative perspectives and ways of looking at the world, how the world goes on. Thus, poetry does many things to the heart of people, and in the world of W. Somerset Maugham, poetry is the crown of literature. And I also feel the same that without poetry, maybe I would not have survived the way I have survived here now. uh, when I started writing poetry and how it came in my mind to express myself when I was working in Saudi Arabia. So the country where you don't know the language of other people whom you are surrounded with. So there was only one way I was left with, that to express my views and how to express my views. So even while sitting in the staff room, when everybody was from Arab world, from Jordan, Iran, Iraq, and Egypt, and Saudi Arabia itself. So and even those Pakistani friends who were from Pakistan, they also used to speak in Arabic well. So I was the only one that who couldn't understand Arabic well, and who was always used to feel forlorn in that particular environment. So that time I started writing poetry, and I started expressing myself. So it we can say that poetry is a kind of nullifier for the infiltration of the life which we live, and the humdrum and the anxieties we have in ourselves. And in a way, this is a kind of sensitivity and sensibility which we express through words. So that time I started writing poetry. Initially I started writing in English, and being a feminist, I started writing on feminist from feminist point of view. And I started writing some love poems, and because I used to feel lonely, and in a way that kind of immigration problems and all those diasporic land problems, those I used to face staying in a foreign land. So that's why those all kind of problems, the uh, swinging between you can say inner self and exterior, that was the struggle, the tussle inside and outside world that I used to stay in, that I used to express through my poetry. Initially that was the subject of my poetry. Later on I started writing haiku also, that those were related to nature. I would like to give some examples also here from this was my first book which I had written. This has many sections. This book has many sections, and this book has many sections. First section was love, the craze, and the second one, love and ultimate feel. And then there was a section stratagem of survivors and unheard, the suppressed voices and random choices. So I would like to take one poem from each section here. So this poem is one adolescent's desire of my heart. Yesterday night, I took a pen and paper, went all out to recollect and gather. As I went in flashback to insight, moreover to lay down truth and light, which he could never discover. As he had been a schoolmate, initially not too intimate, we fought on each petty affair, and why did not we just be fair? That he could never discover. Abruptly, I began to feel so profound, and emotions took a long bound, initiating from poet to crush, what kind of touching rush? But he could never discover. His smile made me feel weak. Clashes ended my tears to leak. Friends used to call me strong, but I guess they were wrong. But he could never discover. Being feeble, gazed at his movements, but dispirited to put across my sentiments. As he could put any girl under his spell, I sensed that I will not be able to tell, that he could never discover. I loved how handsome and benign was he, how passionate his persona made me, caused to flow emotions in violent aquatic. Day by day, I became more pathetic, but he could never discover. Then school got over, we parted since. I wish I could have kissed him once. One adolescent's desire of my heart, concealed from that sweetheart, which he could never discover. This poem I wrote, this is related to self, that how you can discover yourself and how you can retain it. Folk says self is vital for me and I have become self-centered. Is it so? Don't I pay attention? Am I not a dutiful wife? Shall I merge myself fully to cater to sexual aspirations? Or shall I be a machine to produce kids? If it is so, yes, I want to retain self at priority. As I'm told, I'm losing my femininity. Is this the way to refrain it, either by producing offsprings or fulfilling sexual needs? Firstly, I'm supposed to be enlightened. However, I tried my best, somehow became emancipated. But again, I'm kept in the shackles of patriarchy. To make me submissive, all eyes are on me now, and a hitch in my giddy up. I collect my strength not to abide by a decision with which I might disagree. This makes me more assertive, and I resolve to sustain myself. So this is about those all women that who feel that they have become a machine for producing kids or to cater the sexual needs of people, men in their homes, and they're not more than that. So they are assertively they are trying to raise their voices to sustain themselves. And there's one poem which I had related, that is because as I said that I used to swing and like a pendulum between two identities of myself. So this poem, Survival, and this is one of the poem which is very dear to my heart. I realize every so often diaspora within myself, where the displacement occurs, two spheres, two identities. I keep on crossing the borders of each as what I'm supposed to be sometimes, or what I am exactly. My identity disperses from one periphery to another, sensitized, estrangement, distancing, hostility, which I often experience and resist with great efforts within and in exterior. adjustment of two identities, those try to surmount one another, I shuttle between both, two different shelves of me, as opposite to each other, sometimes conflict, attempt to overlap. I am occupied by both and keep on shifting. When I enter in one's margin, the other continues to haunt me. As one is traditional and customary, another is enlightened and contemporary. They combat and they fight back and try to change them from hyphenated to unhyphenated identity. I face an ever-changing uncertainty. This makes me an outsider, occasionally deep inside me. The sense of impermanence makes me a diasporic within, and I exist between these two poles. It requires lots of strength and vigor to suffer the trauma, to adjust myself between the pull and push of two selves. Furthermore, I try to assimilate them. I apply the strategy of negotiation and carry on with hyphenated identity to be a competent survivor. Then the next section was related to unheard and the suppressed voices. Here, I would like to take a poem, Mission. Ordinary people went out of home but never returned back, dismayed and disheartened. They closed once. That was the world of RDX and IEDs, waiting to take their lives, which they could not foresee. A normal human being demolished every time in the dust of explosives. Where is Almighty? Where is humanity lost? Where do our souls reside? Humanity died, probity nullified, ethics mortified, sentiments mocked, sensitivity neutralized. Immortality prevailed, brutality conquered, vicious celebrated, target achieved, mission accomplished. There's again one poem. That time there were some movements going on, and I wrote a poem related to enflamed women around the world. So as I said that initially I had started writing love poems, and then some poems related to feminism, and I wanted to raise voices of people who were suppressed. So this is one of the poems. From South Africa to American Deep South, from India to Ireland and Egypt to Congo, women are on the airways to fly high, on the streets to surge forward, on the social sites to unite together, getting structured as an agency, infuriated and full of resentment, ready to fight against fear and disgrace and to get rid of violence against them. These are women of different countries, of different religion and ethnic backgrounds, raising their voices unanimously, linking together in their own arenas to warfare with gender discrimination, to challenge the culture of rape and molestation, to discard to be sufferer anymore, stepping ahead against hypocrite legislation, fed up of residing with terror and dishonor, fighting back in outstanding manner. Either it is feminist fight of Irish ladies to legalize abortion in Ireland, or anti-harassment movement in Cairo to protect Egyptians from being raped in streets. In addition, DFR campaigning in India to combat heinous crimes against Indian women. Moreover, 1 billion rising in Congo to spread awareness against violence, illustrated assertion and avowal of them that they can't take it more, as they have lost their faith in police force, laws and governments in their countries. So not seeking for gradual reform and attaining courage from one another's struggles to fight with ill practices against them, standing firmly for honor and security and for the sake of a better future for them. Either it is Indian DFR or Egyptian campaign, 1 billion rising or Irish backlash, and flamed women all over the places to call for an end to violence and brutality, for racial justice and gender equality. So few I have taken from here. There are some poems that I just randomly chose the topics. Like one of the poem is related to tea, because I used to like tea a lot, and I still like tea a lot. But my health coach has recently advised me not to take tea more. So I just have sometimes as a cheat drink 1 cup of tea or half. So this poem is entitled as My Best Philip. A cup of tea, my best Philip, and a livener for me. I love to make it, sweltering and steering, with added sugar and ginger, to make it more flavorsome, like in the cranium, with extra facts and thoughts. Those make it further imaginative. I like pouring it, smelling its aromatic steams, its aromatic steams. I like the question rose. Would you like to have a cup of tea? My unsurpassed response, yes, any time of the day, anywhere, workplace or home. When I share a cup of tea, I share a lot more with it. Sometimes my detailed experiences, other time marginally altered. At times I inquire to distinguish the real from the surreal. When I feel alone, it offers harmony and revivifies me and confers a new lease of life. Mostly I take different routes like chalk and cheese, and it brings to a halt with unpredictable upshot. It is just not a cup of tea, but utterly reliant boost for me. This is one of the poem which is very dear to my heart. Actually, my grandmother, when I was just about to come from Saudi Arabia that time, within 10 days, and my grandmother had a call, and she said that, when are you coming back? And I said that just in few days I'm coming back, maybe 20 or 25 days, I said like that. So after a few days she was no more, and I couldn't meet her after that. So that time, at the time, with those emotions, I had written this poem, My Darling Grandmother. And I did not even take a break from my college, and I went to my college. And my daughter, when she went to her crèche and school, she said over there to people that my mother is so strong that she didn't stay back home, and she went to her college when she has lost her grandmother. In that time in my college, I wrote this poem. If I think of wholesome and pure love, she was the one who showered it on me. I would like to rewind those summer holidays with memories of her while lying in her lap, listening to stories every night, sleeping in her arms and feeling her hands, soothing my back with all tenderness, making me sleep deeply in solace, sometimes oiling and fixing my hair, other times making my favorite food, in which she used to pour all her love. She was always nice and caring, and my darling grandmother. That means so much to me, precious those childhood memories of her, which no wealth can purchase now. It has only been a few hours since she has passed away, but I have shed a million tears till now. Day before yesterday, I called her, and she asked me, Baby, have you come? I replied, I will be there within 25 days. The wait has become infinite now, and my heart aches badly. She used to say to me that one day I have to bid her goodbye, but I could never imagine the day, and the day has come now, when I said I would come to see her soon. Why didn't she wait for me? I wish I could give up every single penny I have just to hear her saying my name, to see her one more time, to feel the touch of her hands, to hug her once again so that I could tell her from the bottom of my heart that she is very special to me and nothing can take her away from me. So this was my first book, and then I wrote one more, and this also has some free verses and related to feminism and love. Then some of my students in Saudi Arabia, they said to me that, doctor, you are writing so many poems in English. Why are you not writing in your own language? It seems that you don't love your own language, your mother tongue. You should write in your own mother tongue also. And then I started writing in Hindi. And the next book was Chitij Ke Us Par. So here it is one of the poems. Space Banati Stri, एक देश काल समाज अथवा परिवार, रहते हैं सब एक तरफ मुंतजिर, चाहत में स्त्री के साथ की हर कदम पर बांध कर अपने स्वार्थ हेतु एक बंधन में। कृत्रिम है सब समाज, व्यक्ति विशेष और परिवार के बंधन। स्त्री स्वयं बंधी है, चाहे तो पल में उजागर कर सकती है यथार्थ, धराशायी कर अभिशप्त धारणाओं को अपने लिए बनाते हुए एक स्वतंत्र स्पेस। There is one poem which I really like a lot. कश्ती डूब गई, किनारे के दर्शन कभी तो मिलेंगे, इस इंतजार में भटकती रही, तार्किक विचारों के भंवर में घिरी एक कश्ती। भटकते हुए जब दूर कहीं आभास हुआ एक टापू का, स्वप्न तैरने लगे किनारे से मिलन के, कश्ती की आंखों में। चप्पू चलाते हुए तेजी से लहरों के बहाव के साथ अथाह समुद्र के आगोश में, तूफानी लहरों के बीच किनारे से मिलन को तरसती भटकती कश्ती लिख कर देती प्रेम पाती। किनारे की तरफ बढ़ती हर छोटी बड़ी लहर को किनारे तक पहुंचाने के लिए दिल की बात जब वो बहती जा रही थी उस झंझावत में, सोचते हुए क्या किनारा भी कर रहा होगा उसका इंतजार। एक लहर आई किनारे की खबर लेकर, धीरे से कहा उसने कश्ती के कान में, खत लिखना किनारे को अब बंद कर दो, किनारा बिल्कुल बदल गया है, वहां अब बड़े बड़े जहाज और बहुत चहल पहल है। एक कश्ती बहुत करीब उसने दिल में बसाई है और दो नन्ही कश्तियां सीने पर खेलती हैं। वो भूल गया है व्यापार की बढ़ती व्यस्तता में उस कश्ती को जो लाती थी प्रेम स्वरूप, कुछ मोती चुन कर संग उससे मिलने को। और भी बहुत कुछ कहती रही वो लहर किनारे के फैलते कारोबार के बारे में, पर कश्ती तब तक डूब चुकी थी उस भंवर में जिसका सामना कर जाना चाहती थी वो, देने अपने किनारे को कुछ विशेष मोती। Then I would like to read a few haiku from this haiku book. A flower bloomed full with touch of a fly's wing, preserve the moment. So this was the next poetry book which I had written and these are some of the books which I have written, and now till now many I have started writing about humanity, peace, and more related to nature. And I'm trying to do research in many various areas, and trying to know about the different kind of poetries to write, so that is what my poetic journey is. And I feel that the people who are writing poetry and they are embarking on the ride of this kind of feather couch journey of poetry and imagination, they are somehow different from the materialistic world, and they have their own kind of uh, world they have created. And they're more sensible people. They know that how to express themselves, and they know that how to motivate themselves, encourage themselves. And in a way, poetry is encouraging others also, and it is a kind of healing thing also for many people. Like yesterday I was talking to one of my friend, and that friend expressed in front of me that whenever the poetry comes out from the heart, so it heals somehow, somewhere inside the heart. So in a way, that people who are little bit different from others, they try to express themselves through poetry, and in a way they become more mentally healthy and strong, and more assertive, and in a way more stronger than earlier, and more sensible towards others' problems and pains. That is what I like to say, that poetry unite the world, and we should keep on doing it, and we should keep on writing and appreciating works of others. And I again thanks Prasanna for giving me this chance to read some of my poetries.